Alara's heart thudded in her chest as she gazed in awe at the delicate figure, now draped on the riverbank before her. The mermaid's skin shimmered with an iridescent glow, and the sunlight danced off the scales, creating a tiny rainbow of colors. Alara knelt beside the unconscious mermaid, the water glimmering as if it was trying to reclaim its lost treasure. The vibrant hues of the mermaid's tail contrasted sharply with the rich earth tones of the riverbank, making her seem almost ethereal, a vision from another world. Kneeling protectively beside her new companion, Alara's thoughts raced. Should she try to wake her? The mermaid's chest rose and fell in a gentle rhythm, the very definition of serenity despite the chaos surging within Alara. Tentatively, she reached out to touch the mermaid's shoulder, the skin soft and warm beneath her fingertips. There was a spark of life hidden beneath the surface, and Alara felt a connection, an understanding that transcended words. This was no simple creature. She was a being of beauty and mystery, a whisper of the infinite ocean. As Alara brushed her fingers through the mermaid's silken hair, strange memories flooded her mind. She thought of her childhood, on days spent wandering the riverbank and dreaming of fantastic creatures that could glide through water like birds in the sky. How many times had she wished for a friend who understood the secret songs of nature? Here, now, her dream lay before her. Determined to help, Alara Thao scooped water from the river and gently splashed it onto the mermaid's face, hoping to rouse her from slumber. Slowly, the mermaid began to stir. Her eyelids fluttered like delicate petals caught in a breeze, and finally, those mesmerizing eyes of deep ocean blue opened, locking onto Alara's gaze. In that moment, the world around them vanished, and the only sound was the murmur of the river flowing by, as though it too was captivated by the scene unfolding on its banks. Where am I? The mermaid's voice was a mellifluous melody, dripping with the haunting notes of an ancient language. Alara felt her heart skip again as she recognized the beauty of her song, resonating deep within her soul. The mermaid shifted, trying to sit up, her tail glistening in the afternoon sun like a beacon of otherworldly grace. "Why did you bring me here?" Alara's words stumbled over one another as she tried to explain, her head swirling with a million thoughts. I found you in the water. You were unconscious." Each sentence felt inadequate as she attempted to voice the incredible experience of discovering someone from the depths, a world she had only dreamed of. The mermaid's expression shifted from surprise to something more profound, a hint of understanding mingled with trepidation. "You have saved my life," she whispered, her voice trembling. "But you also do not know what you have awakened." With those words, Alara's heart sank, a flicker of uncertainty igniting in the pit of her stomach. What could possibly be hidden in the depths of a creature so breathtaking? Little did she realize the mysteries about to unfold would lead her down a path more wondrous and perilous than any she had ever imagined. Alara sat on the edge of her bed, her heart racing as she watched the mermaid begin to stir. The sunlight filtered through her window, casting ethereal patterns over the blue-green shimmers of the mermaid's tail, reminding her of the ocean depths where she had first found her. What had she committed to? The weight of the secret loomed heavily in the air, and Alara felt its gravity settle within her, a storm gathering on the horizon. With each gentle breath the mermaid took, Alara's resolve solidified. She reached for the small bowl of water infused with seaweed and herbs she had prepared, hoping to ease the mermaid's distress. Carefully pouring a few drops onto her lips, she watched with bated breath as the mermaid instinctively licked them away, her dark hair spilling like ink across the pillow, catching the light in shimmering waves. "Stay with me," Alara whispered, her fingers brushing against the mermaid's cheek. The fleeting contact sent a spark of energy racing through her. It was a connection that transcended the unknown, igniting a fierce sense of duty in Alara's heart. She couldn't let this being of legend slip away. She was far more than a mere tale spun in the whispers of taverns along the coast. Alara's mind raced. The stories of mermaids depicted them as enchanting yet capricious creatures, often leading sailors to their doom with songs resonant of longing and sorrow. Would her own encounter turn into a nightmare? Yet, here the mermaid lay, vulnerable and fragile, completely at the mercy of Alara's actions. As time slipped by, the mermaid's breathing began to even out, her eyelids fluttering as she fought against the weight of sleep. Alara watched anxiously, her fingers fidgeting with the hem of her dress. She had to know more about this enigmatic visitor. "What are you called?" she murmured softly, seemingly futile, as the mermaid lay still in her recovery. Suddenly, the mermaid's eyes fully opened, revealing deep pools of dark emotion that spoke of ancient waters and unfathomable depth. "Seren," she whispered, her voice like waves lapping against the shore, soft yet resonant with untold stories. The name lingered in the air, and Alara felt a whisper of understanding tangle around her heart. "Alara," she replied, her heart swelling. "I found you. I brought you here." Seren's gaze shifted, concern flickering across her face. "You shouldn't have," she breathed, the weight of her words sinking into the already heavy atmosphere. Alara felt a chill run through her, unsure if the warning was for Alara's sake or her own. The world outside was filled with questions, and with the weight of her secret, danger could lurk anywhere. Alara steeled herself. "I don't care what might come," she insisted firmly, conviction washing over her. "You were in pain, and I won't abandon you. Not now." As the nameless fears seeped into the corners of her mind, she knew the path ahead was uncertain. In bringing Seren into her home, a door had opened, and with it, a torrent of possibilities. She was undeniably drawn to the mystery and magic, but she understood that secrets could either bind them together or shatter the delicate threads of their fates. Alara spent her afternoons perched on the mossy rock by the sea, river, her heart at once light and heavy. Each encounter with Mira breathed life into her mundane days, the air thick with laughter and shared secrets. Mira's laughter, a melody unlike anything Alara had ever heard, wove through the foliage as she shared tales that painted the world of the ocean in hues more vibrant than any sunset. One afternoon, as the sun danced on the surface of the water, Mira spoke of the Lumina Coral, an ethereal structure that pulsed with a light so bright it illuminated the depths for miles around. "It blooms only once every 100 years, Mira explained, her eyes shimmering with the reflected glow of the water. "When it does, the ocean sings, 1,000 voices entwined in harmony, calling to the stars above." Alara's heart raced at the thought of such beauty. The vivid image of a coral garden sparkling in the dark depths etched into her mind. But along with wonder, Mira shared whispers of the darker currents that flowed through her world. She spoke of the shadow swells, powerful whirlpools where the sea's tempests roared like mythological beasts, taking foolish sailors into their icy embrace. "They are guardians, perhaps," Mira mused, her stare lost in the distance. "They protect the treasures of the deep, but they can also swallow even the bravest at a moment's notice." A shiver crawled up Alara's spine at the thought, the warmth of the sun suddenly feeling distant. "Can you come back to the ocean, Mira?" Alara asked one day, a hint of desperation lacing her tone. "What if you just returned for a while? You'd be safer there." Mira's expression fell, her gaze settling back on the river, where the water rippled gently, alive yet serene. "I belong to both worlds, Alara, but these days have made me feel tethered, caught between longing and safety." A pang of sorrow anointed Alara's heart as she witnessed her friend's turmoil. Without knowing how to comfort her, Alara focused on one of the shells that Mira had left on the riverbank, a beautiful spiral that seemed to whisper secrets of submerged realms. She picked it up, tracing her fingers over its smooth surface. "Will there come a time when I can visit? To see this lumina coral and hear the ocean's symphony?" she asked, her voice trembling with hope. Mira glanced over, a wisp of a smile gracing her lips. "Perhaps, but the journey is not one we take lightly. It's a bridge between our lives, and it requires trust." Alara sensed the depth of those words. The ocean and its mysteries were entwined with dangers that went beyond the surface. If they took that leap, if Alara joined Mira beneath the waves, would she be willing to face the shadows that lurked in the depths? In that moment, the bond between them shimmered with possibilities. As the sun dipped towards the horizon, painting the sky in incandescent shades of orange and pink, Alara's mind buzzed with thoughts of adventure, fears, and a yearning she couldn't quite articulate, a quest waiting just beyond the river's edge. The water called to her like a siren, its whispers promising wonders yet to be uncovered, yet still guarded by the shadows of what lay beneath. As dusk settled over the village, Alara found herself drawn to the riverbank once more, the pale shimmer of twilight reflecting off the water's surface like a mirror to her burgeoning connection with Mira. Each meeting revealed more of the ocean's secrets to her, the whispers of the waves intertwining with her very essence, filling the gaps of her once ordinary life with wonder and complexity. They would share stories beneath the canopy of stars, Mira's curious eyes revealing depths of knowledge, while Alara's laughter danced toward the moon, their worlds colliding between reality and magic. Yet, as the river's surface sparkled invitingly, unease loomed in the villagers' hearts. Alara had overheard hushed conversations in the marketplace, punctured by gasps and clutches of fabric as fear wove its way through familiar faces. Tales of disappearing cattle and unseasonable storms began to echo among them, an uneasiness that bitterly juxtaposed the serenity Alara felt when she stood by Mira's side. Caught between her friendship with the enchanting creature and the growing fears of her community, she sensed a tide turning, not merely within the river, but within the very fabric of the lives she held dear. With each secret encounter, Mira revealed profound aspects of the ocean's magic that defied logic, teaching Alara to embrace the elements while warning her of their unpredictable nature. They laughed together, conjuring breezes and playful gusts that responded to their wishes, but Mira's laughter would occasionally crumble into pensive silence. That worry hung heavy in the air, a reflection of the shifting currents, turbulent and shadowed. "Have you felt it, Alara?" Mira asked one evening, as they sat beneath the twilight sky, the river reflecting stars like luminescent pearls spilling from its depths. "The river remembers, but it also forgets," she whispered, her voice like the rustle of leaves. "These disturbances, they call to darker things. Something stirs beneath the surface." Alara's heart quickened, not so much from fear, but from the urgency of understanding. Could their bond really be the catalyst of something larger than both of them? The enchantment she cherished was becoming intertwined with a swell of dangerous currents, painting their friendship in shades of both wonder and risk. The air crackled with tension as Alara returned to the village that night, leaving Mira behind. Shadows loomed in every corner, and each creak of the wooden structures or whisper of the wind sent shivers down her spine. Was it just her imagination, or did the village seem to shrink away from the river's edge? The water that once cradled her dreams now felt heavier with foreboding. She passed a group of villagers gathered round a flickering lantern, their faces cast in grim light. "A curse from the depths," one whispered, casting wary glances at the river. Alara fought the urge to cry out in defense of her friend. The pull of loyalty pitted against the safety of her community. Deeper than any fear lay the knowledge that Mira's existence thrummed brightly, a source of vitality that could either be their salvation or lead them toward inevitable ruin. The air around her thickened, a promise of change brewing, and Alara knew she had to face the storm that awaited them both. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue across the river, Alara found herself wandering the forest, her heart heavy with the weight of her choices. Each step echoed with the voices of centuries past, ancestral whispers that braided through the trees, guiding her toward the hidden glen where secrets lay thick in the air. The river flowed nearby, its surface glimmering like 1,000 shattered stars, beckoning her closer, as if it too bore a tale that needed to be told. Mira's laughter lingered in Alara's mind, a melody intertwined with the threat that hung over them. She had always believed in the harmony between her people and the creatures of the water, but the increasing tensions among the villagers painted a grim picture of misunderstanding and fear. The stories told around crackling fires hinted at a time when humans and mermaids had walked together under the same moonlight, sharing dreams and legends. Yet, now those dreams felt like distant echoes, clouded by irrational terror. Determined to uncover the truth, Alara knelt by the riverbank, her fingers brushing the cool water. The river today felt different, alive and pulsing with an energy she had never quite sensed before. It was not merely a body of water, it was a spirit, a guardian of secrets buried beneath its depths, a repository of ancient knowledge. As she closed her eyes, taking a deep breath, the familiar fragrance of damp earth and wildflowers enveloped her, grounding her in the moment. "Tell me," she whispered into the current. "What must I do?" In response, the water rippled, and for a heartbeat, Alara felt a surge of emotions coursing through her, that mix of fear and longing that had accompanied her since she first met Mira. Visions flitted past her mind's eye, children laughing by the river, fishermen casting their nets, and a girl with striking scales shimmering in the sunlight. These images were not just memories. They were a reminder of the balance that once existed. The river's flow quickened, and Alara felt a rush of thoughts, images of angry villagers wreathed in shadows, fear distorting their faces, and the weight of judgment pressing down as they sought a target for their unrest. The mermaid, who had saved her life in countless unseen ways, was beginning to be seen as a threat, a scapegoat for their mounting anxiety. In that moment, Alara understood the stakes. This was not just about saving her friend. It was about restoring hope and understanding between two worlds that had too often been at odds. With newfound resolve, Alara straightened, determination coursing through her veins. She would not abandon Mira to the cruel whims of fear. Instead, she would find a way to share the rich tapestry of their story, the beauty of coexistence and the strength of unity. The path ahead was fraught with uncertainty, yet Alara knew she stood at the cusp of something transformative. The river pulsed in agreement, and she felt it resonate deep within her, a promise that the truth, once uncovered, could pave a path toward healing for both the villagers and the creatures swimming in the depths below. Alara stood at the water's edge, her heart a tumultuous blend of fear and hope. With Mira by her side, she looked into the eyes of the villagers, each face a mosaic of uncertainty and intrigue. The sun dipped lower, its golden rays spilling over the surface of the river like liquid gold, illuminating the moment that felt both timeless and charged with possibility. As she took a deep breath, Alara beckoned to something deeper within the villagers, something that had lain dormant beneath layers of fear and misunderstanding. "Look at the river," she implored, her voice steady and clear. "It is not just a body of water, it is a lifeline. It nourishes our lands, feeds our spirits, and in its depths resides magic that we have failed to recognize. This magic is not to be feared, but celebrated." She gestured to Mira, whose silver scales glimmered in the dying light. as if urging the villagers to shed their apprehensions. Mira swam close to the bank, her presence a captivating contrast to the earthy tones of the village. "I am not a monster," she chimed in, her voice melodious, weaving through the air like a gentle breeze. "I am a guardian of this river, a being of connection and wisdom. Together, we can thrive in a world rich with wonders beyond our imagination." The murmurs among the villagers started to soften, the tension in the air palpable yet shifting. Conversations murmured through the crowd, carried on tentative whispers, challenging long-held beliefs. Elara noticed the way their shoulders relaxed as her words took root, transforming empathy into a desire to understand. She began to weave a tapestry of stories, tales of shared moments between humans and mermaids, of laughter echoing across the water, of nights spent under starlit skies where secrets flowed freely like the river itself. With each tale, she painted vivid scenes of camaraderie, love, and harmony. Elara spoke of the rich life the river held, the playful dance of fish beneath the surface, the haunting songs of the mermaids at twilight, and the vibrant colors of the flowers that bloomed along the banks, nourished by the water's gentle kiss. The villagers' eyes sparkled with flickers of recognition, as the waters seemed to shimmer with life in response to her every word. "Imagine a future," she urged, her voice now resonating with fervor, "where we work hand in hand with those we once feared, where the river is a source of joy and community, a symbol of our connection to one another and to the magic that surrounds us." The once hesitant villagers now leaned forward, their breaths held, captivated by the dream that Elara kindled before them. Each heartbeat in the crowd echoed the pulse of the river, a reminder that they were all part of something larger, a community intertwined, just like the currents beneath the water's surface. As the sun surrendered its final light to the horizon, casting a kaleidoscope of colors over the river, Elara felt an undeniable shift. The currents of change began to swell, the river's voice a gentle promise of unity. In that moment, a bridge was built, invisible while yet profoundly felt, connecting the heart of the mermaid and the spirit of humanity. The ripple effect of their newfound understanding danced along the waters, a testament to resilience, transformation, and the shimmering beauty of life, interwoven